All right, Shalom. Giving our praises, glory, and honors unto Yahweh. By Hashem Yahushua, by Hashem Kakadash. Double honors to the apostles, elder bishops, a great millstone. Peace and blessings to the 144,000. Rest of the hopeful elect out there. This is your brother, the priest, Desire One from James, Atlanta. Back with another edifying video. This is another update to the Motb. As you can see here, it says flexible brain implant takes major leap forward. Precision neuroscience just surged ahead in the race to connect minds and machines. So we have another brain implant in development, which is fulfillment of Revelation 13 and 16. As far as the technology, the mark, the charagma being developed. Matter of fact, let's just pull it up real quick. For those that are new, for those that need to understand the Bible and its prophecies and that want to learn, this is Revelation chapter 13, verse 16. It says, "And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads." Now the he causeth is speaking about the so-called white man, his power structure. This white man's world, which his power structure is ruled by America and NATO, which is the beast. All right, when you read up in Revelation 13 chapter, it mentions the beast. Starting from verse 11, the beast is represented by the fourth kingdom, or what's also known as the fourth beast, which is the Roman Empire, which the Treaty of Rome, which was signed in the mid-1900s. It was signed to form a coalition, a new coalition in Europe, which was the revival of Rome and the Romans. And that empire has become what's known today as the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, with the U.S., the United States of America, as the head. So eventually these governmental powers, when you jump down to verse 16, these governmental powers, these entities, these countries are going to cause their citizens, no matter their social or economic status, to receive an implant, all right, in their right hand or in their forehead. So what we're specifically talking about now is dealing with the foreheads, because when you look at the human anatomy, your forehead, behind your forehead is your brain, your frontal lobe, your frontal cortex, which controls your thoughts, your feelings. It controls your ability to move your arms and legs. And when you deal with these brain implants, that's exactly what they're controlling. That's what they give these paraplegic and those with other neurological issues, the ability to control, all right, their bodies or their thoughts and minds. Okay. So once again, this is from Freethink. It says flexible brain implant takes major leap forward. And this is it here. So it's a new type of implant. And I'll read it. It says, "Imagine a world where your thoughts are translated into commands for a computer, smartphone, or prosthetic limb." Like I said, being able to control your arms, right? No, this isn't a pitch for a sequel to Minority Report. It's the world a growing group of startups backed by a who's who of billionaires are working to create right now. Which you have Elon Musk with Neuralink, you have Jeff Bezos and Bill Gates with Synchron and the Stentrode implant, and you have a host of others. It says now, and one of those companies just got significantly closer to realizing this vision. Well, the real vision is the prophecies. All right, and it says mind control technology. Brain-computer interfaces are systems that allow direct communication between the brain and external machines. Some do this by using electrode-covered caps to monitor brain activity, but the most effective systems place electrodes under the skull, right, in the brain, right, inside, sometimes implanting them directly into the brain. So this is that technology of the Motb, what we know as the mark of the beast, which we call the Motb for for conservative purposes due to YouTube and its algorithm trying to censor certain information, but that's okay, all right, because the truth is still going to come out. And this is the truth. We see what's going on, and you should see too that these technologies that they're creating are all a part of Bible prophecy. So I'm not going to read all of this, but let me read this. So it says, one day these systems, we're just talking about BCI, brain-computer interface, could make it so anyone can control their tech with their minds. But before we get there, developers want to use BCIs to help people overcome health issues, such as paralysis. Once in place, the BCI could help an immobile person type on a screen or control a prosthetic limb using just their thoughts. And this is Esau, which once again the so-called white race are known as the Edomites in the Bible, and also known as the wicked. All right, when you read the book of Job 9:24, it says the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. Let me read that. All right, I haven't brought this out in a number of years. This is Job chapter 20. Job chapter 9, verse 24. It says the earth is given into the hand of the wicked, meaning the wicked race of people control the planet Earth. I mean, when you look at today's society, wars have escalated, death and destruction, pollution, and all kinds of evil, immorality, so forth and so on, has increased since the Edomites have come into power. So they would have to be the wicked. Since the Roman Empire, Greece, and now America and you know, these European countries of NATO and you know, the EU, European Union, they've all propagated wickedness and sin in the earth. So that's wicked. It says he covered the faces of the judges. The true judges are being covered with proverbs and bywords, which are the Israelites, so-called black Spanish and Native Americans who ruled the world and the earth previous to so-called white people ruling, the Edomites. You had the Israelites ruling in power, especially in Europe and parts of Asia, and the other dark nations as well. It says, he covered the faces of the judges thereof, so they're being hidden from you. All right. It says, if not, where and who is he? So if it's not so-called white man, if he's not the wicked, if he's not Esau or the Edomites, then where and who is he? Who is the wicked ruler on the planet Earth? So this is a rhetorical question, meaning it's Esau, it's Edom. You know, it's who we say it is. All right, and it's through their wickedness in their hand that this technology is eventually not just leading to them being able to control things with their mind, but they want to be like the Most High. They want to be like God, the Heavenly Father, Yahweh. And they want to be the saviors. They want to be Yahweh Shai. They want to be what Implant called Jesus Christ, whose true name is Yahweh Shai. The Heavenly Father's true name is Yahweh, and those are Hebrew names. They want to be the gods and saviors of the planet Earth, you know, the saviors of the so-called human race when all is lost. And it's through technology like this, these brain implants, is how they want to do it. You know, when you read back in Revelation, the 13th chapter, it says that they going to deceive them through those miracles. Revelation 13 and 14, it says, and deceiveth them, who? The wicked. All right, this is a precept. It says, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles, such as this technology. If you can have someone that could never see, or that one day lost their sight and they were blind for a time, if you can give them technology where they can see again, or they can walk or talk again, that would be considered a miracle, right? Through what they call technological miracles or technological marvels, all right? But really what they want to do with this technology is to control you, control your minds, watch you, keep you in a prison, a digital prison, where you won't own anything, you won't be yourself. That's what it's all about. But, you know, you're being deceived that they're miracles, but really this technology is really going to give them more control over the Heavenly Father's creation. And deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles, that technology, which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, which is the revival of the Roman Empire, the white man's power structure, what they call the white man's world, being further, you know, developed into a full planetary control through wickedness, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast. Yeah, they should worship Esau, Edom, you know, the white man in his system, which had the wound by a sword and did live. Because at one point the Roman Empire in the past went down, but it was revived through the Renaissance, which is a French word which means to be reborn, a rebirth of what's also known as white supremacy in the earth. It says, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak, and that's through their policies. They are now able to put life and legislation and policy into achieving what they want as a so-called new order of this world. It says, and cause that as many as would not worship. If you don't want to worship or comply with this new digital image, this new system that they're creating, but they're in full control, all right? And cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. So this is going to be a life and death situation on earth. And they're going to use different means. When I say they or them, I'm speaking about the Edomites, the wicked. They're going to use different means to depopulate. All right, and one of their plans of full control is getting the resources and get control of the global economy through individual means. That's why they want to implant everyone with this mark or this digital device, whether it be a brain-computer interface or an implant in the hand. They want to have full control. I read verse 16, right? We just read that. And he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell. So you won't be able to have any economic power unless you have this device in your forehead, your brain, or in your hand. Save he that had the mark, the M-A-R-K, the Motb, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man. What man? The so-called white man, the red man, the Edomite man, and his red supremacy, or what they call white supremacy. All right, his earthly empire that he wants to create through deceiving the people. And his number is 600, which is tied into their UPC code, barcode system of products, right? Which eventually the product will be you, the individual person. You're going to be just a product, not just through your birth certificate or your social security number. You will be a product in all aspects to the elites of this world, the wicked elites of this world. And when you go further into the Greek characters of 603 which go back into the Greek word stigma, and even the other two characters, they mean to prick, to cut, all right? To prick and cut under the skin, chi-side stigma, okay? And when you go into the Greek word here, stigma, what does it mean? To stick, to prick. And what are they going to stick and prick in you? An implant, okay? It's all about these biometric implants, and that's another word for it: biometric implant, brain implant. It says now whether BCIs can actually help any of these people and achieve the numbers Wall Street is floating will come down to developers' ability to get their products to the market. And one promising BCI startup, Precision Neuroscience, just took the lead in the race to commercialization. So now you have Precision Neuroscience. They're developing their brain implant along with, you see here, Neuralink, and there's others. You can see here, like we mentioned, in the forehead, right? And what's directly behind your forehead? Your brain. And what they want to put in there? The implant. This is the fulfillment of Revelation 13. All right? See Great Millstone, out of the Israelites, GMS, we've been teaching you 100% truth when it comes to the Bible and scriptures. That's our job, all right? The prophets, the prophecies, okay? Because the prophets can break this Bible down to its proper understanding. And there's more that you can see here. It's been many years in the making. Yeah, that's the prophecies. The mark, the implant, the Motb. Ultimately, this is something that the elites of this world, the wicked, evil, satanic elites, they've been waiting for this technology to be developed enough to where they can use it. It says, looking ahead, it says the FDA clearance may have given Precision the lead in the race to commercialization. So the FDA in the U.S. has approved it. It says, but it hasn't won yet. The Layer 7 cortical interface is just one part of its BCI, and several other groups are making swift progress in developing their own systems. It says the aforementioned Neuralink recently sold its tiny implant, which Neuralink is owned by Elon Musk, which is about the size of 5 stacked quarters, directly into the motor cortex. Remember what I said, that's your forehead, all right? That frontal cortex, which is your motor cortex, of a third patient, a nonverbal man with ALS. That person then used the system and the Grok AI chatbot, which is what you find on Twitter or X, which also Elon Musk owns, to type using just his thoughts. Another competitor, Synchron, backed by the investment firms of Bill Gates and Jeff Bezos, which I mentioned earlier, is developing its own minimally invasive BCI. It reaches the brain through a blood vessel, eliminating the need for any drilling of the skull. They've tested it in at least 10 people. Right, Neuralink has used 3 people, so Synchron has 10 people, and have been integrating ChatGPT into the device. So AI, and who's gonna see? Eventually, it's gonna be so wicked where you're not gonna be able to differentiate between AI and yourself. This technology is going to take your soul. That's why it's wicked. And we can see that. And when you read the scriptures, it says that the Lord is going to destroy anyone that takes it, because it's taken away ultimately is taken away from his creation, right? Man, starting with the Israelites. So this is a Revelation 14:9. Doom for worshippers of the beast. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast in his image and receive his mark, which is the Motb, in his forehead or in his hand. And there's plenty of videos that I've done and other brothers and NG and Masquerade Muslim have done on the implant in the hand. It says, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of God, the Most High, which is Yahweh, Bahasham Yahawashi, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. Yahweh is the Heavenly Father's name. Bahasham is Hebrew phrase for in the name. And Yahawashi is the true name in the Hebrew for who the world English calls Jesus Christ. Yahawashi is his name. Yahweh and the name of Yahawashi. As you read in the scriptures, it says to praise the Heavenly Father in the name of his Son. It says, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone, which are nuclear missiles, nuclear destruction, which will be used in the final stage of World War III, Armageddon, which is soon to come. In the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. And that destruction will take place on America, which is known also in Revelation as Babylon the Great city, that woman on the beast. This place, the U.S., will be destroyed. And the smoke of their torment ascendeth up forever and ever. And they have no rest day nor night who worship the beast in his image, and whosoever receiveth the mark of his name. So if you take this brain implant, if you take the implant in the hand, then the Heavenly Father through his Son will destroy you. That's just the truth. Verse 12, here is the patience of the saints. The saints are the Israelites. Here are they that keep the commandments of the Heavenly Father. The commandments were given to the Israelites, and the faith of Yahawashi and the faith of the Messiah was bestowed upon the elect, chosen of the Hebrew Israelites and the Hebrew Israelites only. All right, these Christians, Christianity has not taught the Bible in truth. They've manipulated it for their own means. That is why now you have the different Hebrew Israelite groups, camps all over the world on the street corners and on the internet doing videos such as this and others preaching the true gospel. Now I want to add to this, there's a video game that is coming out that is going to promote the Motb. It says Mindseye seems like it would be the perfect game to fill the GTA 6 void. This is from Gaming Boat. It says Mindseye feels like a thrilling and over-the-top experience that will likely deliver enough chaos and fun to keep us busy until GTA 6 arrives. So I just want to get into some of this. It says, if you haven't heard of Edinburgh Stationed Studio, I believe Edinburgh is out of the UK. It says, build a rocket boy. You'll undoubtedly be familiar with the game's director at his helm. Leslie Benzies spent most of his career at Rockstar, overseeing the production of their world-dominating titles, household names like Red Dead Redemption, and Grand Theft Auto 5. Splintering off to form his own enterprise, with a handful of Rockstar defectors in tow, Build a Rocket Boy is gearing up to release its first standalone title. So it says here, Mindseye is an action-adventure thriller, and given the pedigree of the team behind its creation, and of course the sheer look of the thing, the comparisons with that open world series are undeniable. So what I want to get is what the game will be about. Check this out. It says the game follows amnesiac Jacob Diaz, a former soldier with a neural implant. There you go. They're promoting the Motb. They're promoting the brain implant. who takes a trip to the near future metropolis of Red Rock, a hotbed of blue chip investment and swanky nightlife, to search for clues that'll regain his memory. Was discovering the origins of his life, ruining Skull and Planet with. Was discovering the origins of his life, ruining Skull and Planet Microchip. Along the way, he becomes embroiled in a government who are evidently a little too cozy with the city's fully automated robotic law enforcers. That's AI. And the nefarious tech mogul leader, hell-bent on changing the course of human evolution. Sounds like someone we know in real life, you know. Elon Musk. The game's story trailer begins with the proclamation a scientist has discovered a paradox, and thus the iRobot comparisons begin. And it's, as you can see here, they're about to really begin to push this Motb. Yeah, I also thought about this game, Cyberpunk 2077, Watch Dogs, Detroit, Become Human. You know, these different sci-fi futuristic games that deal with AI and technology. So the next game that's coming out that'll be big, that'll probably be talked about along with GTA 6 is Mindseye. So there's that. This is all recent, May 14, 2025. So, hey, with that, I want to give our praises, glory, and honors unto Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai Bashem Kakwadash. Hope this is edifying. Shalom.